Welcome to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. I am Gad, your host. A viewer requested a twin flames natal charts analysis. That's what we're going to do right now. Alrighty, we're going to start with the left. The female is on the left. The male will be on the right. We'll do the female's chart first. First house is the house ruled by Aries, and she has Leo, and her sun sign is Leo. So we're going to see Aries is going to be a forward-driven energy. Leo is also very energetic, and also there's a lot of sun power because the ruler of Leo is sun, but can be very fun, very adventurous, very outgoing, likes to go, likes to travel, romantic, likes to be outside, likes to be in nature, connected with children. And when we get to the fifth house, it's going to be the same definition because Leo rules the fifth house and has a lot of sun energy. So this is really like a bright person, especially internally as well. But very bright person, and Lilith is there, and Lilith is not retrograde, so that's a good thing that Lilith is not retrograde. We're gonna move into the second house, which is the house of finances and possessions. So she will communicate about money. So communication will have something to do with finances and possessions, but especially healing communications, because Virgo is healthy, the healer. Can also be about service as well. Her true north node, this is what she should be working on in this life. Her true north node is Libra relationship, and she'll be talking about it a lot too. And she has Chiron, which is a lot of healing as well. And then she has the moon sign Libra. So you got the sun sign Leo, moon sign Libra. So this is a relationship minded person, a very romantic person. And if you're gonna do the true north node, you want to go right across and go to the south node, and that's that really represents your past life, but it could be this life too. But your south node has Juno, so Juno usually represents the person you might find yourself in a relationship with. So we got Aries, and you got Saturn retrograde, which we're going to talk about, which is Capricorn rules Saturn. So you got Aries, Capricorn, and then let's count with house 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and Sagittarius. So a possibility of somebody they may end up in a relationship with would be Aries, Sagittarius, as well as Capricorn. But those are just possibilities. But that also is your past life as well. And you see that Aries energy, and that's your higher self house. That's really the house of ascension, higher consciousness, higher self, higher everything, and travel. But that travel does not necessarily have to be moving vehicle travel. It could also be telepathy. And Saturn can represent a lack of discipline. And remember, this is the south node, but it was a lack of discipline. And when you got Aries there, that makes sense because Aries just wants to go. Aries doesn't want to be told what to do. So, but it's a lack of discipline in that ninth house. But it's indicating past life. But it can also mean Saturn can also mean karma, a karmic debt as well. So now we're gonna move to the fifth house. Let me see where we're at. We at the third house. Now we're at the fourth house, which again, the fourth house has Scorpio. So a lot of times people in your family are part of your soul group from a past life. And now when you see Scorpio, it can mean that. But Scorpio, the fourth house means family, higher education, property, the heart, or moving vehicles. So she's got a Palace there. Palace is just getting help from others. Vesta is a lot of energy, so you're still dealing with a lot of energy. And then you even got Pluto. So you got Pluto and Scorpio, and Pluto's in your fourth house and your fifth house. So that's what you see. You can tell this is a soul relationship. It's a twin soul relationship going on, and she's probably dealing with soul groups. Because I know my last job where everything went down, where I met my twin at, my soulmate was there too. I had my twin soul there. I had my soulmate there, and then a lot of the people I work with were also part of my soul group. So You see all this there. Then you got the vertex cross again. That's a portal. And then you got nurturing with Chiris, or Chiris, nurturing, and then you got Sagittarius again, which is what takes you right, because Sagittarius rules your ninth house. So they just look like, it looks like, because you got to remember that Aries is always going to be related to Scorpio and Pluto, because Mars used to rule Scorpio, but now Mars rules Aries. So that the energy is shared. So this kind of looks like it's just a lot of energy that was affecting the relationship as well. And that, like I just said on my last chart I just did before this one, when Aries energy, Aries is about I am. But if you're going to be in a relationship, it can't be I am. You have to learn how to compromise, because it has to be we are. And real twin flame relationships, it's only when the two realize that you're in a sacred union. You just can't do what you want to do because you're in a sacred union. So you do have to kind of communicate and kind of have to learn to work with each other. So that's the fifth house. You go into the sixth house, which is the house of Virgo, the healer. And so you got past life money, and you notice how Juno's retrograde at 8. The reason why it's at 8 because it's dealing with the 8th house. It's also dealing with karma as well, and the 8th house is Scorpio. So you have Capricorn there again, and Capricorn is a good worker, but because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, Capricorn can also mean real stern. At the end of the day, it's real stern, and so they put your Capricorn in your sixth house Virgo to try to heal it. And if you notice, you start seeing retrogrades. The more you talk about Saturn and Capricorn, the more you start seeing retrogrades, because Saturn rules Capricorn. So now you got a Neptune retrograde, which means when you're dreaming, you're having past life dreams. You also got past life money that has to be dealt with in this life. And then even though Uranus is in your seventh house, it's so close to your sixth house. We're still going to talk about it. Uranus deals with generally internal change, but Uranus is also can mean Uranus, if it's direct, it means that's a person that's real independent. They just want to go, just real independent sun people. Somebody just wake up and say, I want to go, and they ain't say nothing about it before. They just wake up and be like, I want to go, and they ready to get out the door and stuff. That's Uranus. But Uranus retrograde can mean that this person isn't like that, like they're being held back for some reason. But realize all of that began with Capricorn and Saturn, and I already told you the connection between Aries, because it just seems like that Aries energy caused something to cause a lot of retrogrades. And I know what I'm talking about, because Aries is with Saturn, and Saturn rules Capricorn, and that's where all your retrogrades really popped up. So those are all matters that have to be addressed. I'm gonna go back over it again before we leave. Going into your seventh house of Aquarius. See, Aquarius is the really 11th house, which is good, because if you notice, look at your 11th house. Who's there? The twins, Gemini, because that means surrender, and that's what twin flames is supposed. Like, if you really understand the universe, you get past this third dimensional bullshit. See, the third dimension was all about me. Oh, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to dress. Ain't nobody gonna tell me. I don't need no man. I don't need no woman. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be a player. I'm gonna do this. I'm not ready. I'm gonna cheat. Nah. That's all third dimensional bullshit. When you get past that, you realize this is my soul. This is a sacred union, and it's just like when you see people get real religious, but you really understand it's a sacred union, and you just realize this is where I'm supposed to be, and you just do what you're supposed to based on the universe. And then that's how you can address the karma as well, because that's Aquarius in the seventh house, or Aquarius in the 11th house, whatever. Even twins in the 11th house might mean that they both submit. They both realize it's a sacred union, and we got to stop all the third dimensional selfishness. And that's why you had that good fortune asteroid in your 11th house, because it's implying that you too might get to that level. But the karma has got to be met. 8th house, Pisces, again. 8th house is all about the soul. Now, you will be getting a free report on astrology, the archangels, and it explains every single house. So that's a free report, and you can read the 8th house, but that's all about that soul twin soul, twin flame, all about Scorpio, because Scorpio is about passion and sex and transformation and change and secrecy and mystery. And Scorpios can be very suspecting people, doubtful and suspecting, accusing, until they get to know you and trust you, and then they can be very loyal. But that's because they're coming out of that house, that 8th house. So you got Pisces there, because Pisces is all so very spiritual. So like I said, you have to understand there's different levels. Like Scorpio is a whole nother level. You know, you got Pisces. You can have somebody could be a churchgoer, a Christian. Somebody could be Pisces. They could be a tarot card reader, an angel card reader. And I honestly think like my angel cards deal more with Pisces energy, and tarot cards deal more with Scorpio energy. That's what I believe. It's like two different things, but they still work together. And then you go into your 9th house, which is your higher self, which is Aries is there, Juno is there, so that's where you want that relationship, Juno. Well, again, you have Saturn retrograde. I already explained it. That was your 9th house. Now you go to your 10th house, medium Coeli. So your 10th house means this is your career. It's funny too because you got that in your 10th house. I'll tell you that through an email though. But but you got the Taurus there, and that could mean a lot of stuff. Like that's the career house, which can mean your career is something like you're a real strong person. Taurus is about material things. Taurus says I have, and Taurus is earthy too. But that could mean just whatever career you're in, you would be like real strong in the career or something. It could also mean your project or your twin flame goal would have something to do with a Taurus, or it can mean a male authority in your life that is a Taurus, or a strong male. So a lot of times, like that person would know. I wouldn't necessarily know, but the person would know. We already discussed your 11th house that has the twins, which is talking about submission. Like I said, if you notice, you don't have any retrogrades on that side. All your retrogrades are on the other side. And then in the dysfunctional house, you got, well, they said men are from Mars, Venus is from, women are from Venus, men are from Mars, and that's what you have going on in your house. But you have 6-9 of nurturing, and remember that the moon rules Cancer, and if you notice, your moon sign is Libra. So you kind of the implication that you two will balance out. And remember, Mars rules Aries, and you have an Aries issue. Because that, to me, that's what really, you have an Aries issue, and Saturn jumped in to deal with Aries, but then because Saturn jumped in to deal with Aries, Capricorn jumped in, and that's why you had all this retrogrades. So we got to get that Aries on that Mars energy. Like if and again, remember, this is your South Node. It might have been in a past life, but you apparently like to just go, and you like to argue. Maybe now you do, or maybe definitely in the past life. I know you did because you can see it in the chart. But you gotta temper that. That's why you got Venus is trying to temper that energy, that energy to want to just go and just argue. And then Venus is trying to temper it in your 12th house, because that's a dysfunction house. The 12th house is like dysfunctional people arguing all the time, people that can't get their shit together. That's the 12th house. People want to stay high and stay drunk all the time, smoking weed and shit. All that's a dysfunctional house. That's its 12th house, and it works out of there. The 8th house is internal, and the 12th house is external, but it's basically the same house. And so that Mars energy got to be dealt with. So they're trying to nurture that Mars energy to calm it down, and they're trying to show love to the Mars energy to calm it down. Because Juno wants to be in a serious relationship, and she's in a good spot. She's in the 9th house because she wants a real relationship, and she wants to ascend. But right now, y'all dealing with that Mars energy, and that's why, like I said, that's why you're retrograde, and you're also holding up money because that Jupiter retrograde, that's past life money. So that's what has to be dealt with in this life. is the Mars energy, the Aries energy. Now we're going to go to the second house. His ascendant is Pisces and Aries, because that's his first house. So again, he'll be like spiritual, psychic, discerning, watery type person, because that's Pisces. And his Juno is saying he would end up with someone that may be a Pisces or Aries. And in your site, you have a lot of Aries energy going on. And then you got Saturn. Now Saturn could be in his first or second house, because like I said, we're not sure of the exact time. So it could be one of them things. But he got Saturn with Pisces, which would just mean, again, Saturn is just discipline. Saturn is saying, hey, we're going to set some standards. We're going to go by some rules. And then you got Mars with Aries. So this dude, so he might, like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. He might be the reason. I really don't know. But you just had on your chart, you had an Aries issue. And on his chart, he got Sun in Aries, Mars in Aries. So this dude is talking shit. That's probably why you like him and shit. This nigga, he talking shit. He probably could back it up though. But this nigga talking shit. He looking for a fight. You know what I'm saying? Don't bump into him. Whatever you do, that's the nigga you don't want to bump into if you hanging out. Because he ain't trying to hear no excuse me. He not trying to hear no I beg your partner. I beg your pardon. This nigga want to swing and shit. So maybe that's why your chart got all that Aries. I don't know. And then like I said, that bull, like I said, that might be your project, is that bull, that stubbornness. It might be him. So then in his house, in his 1, 2, 3, he got the bull, and he's a communicator. Like he's a strong communicator. He's the bull, but he also got love, because you got to remember Libra, and your moon sign is Libra, but Venus rules Libra and Taurus. So you got that. So you got that whole Libra thing going on in the third house, because it's Venus and Taurus, and he's like a strong communicator. Or it could he? But you know, his love is there though. Love is there, but he's like a strong communicator. So I could even be like a strong for love communicator. But whatever it is, it's strong though. Brother, you know, I can't really tell you whether I don't know him personally, but either he's stubborn, so they put love in there to try to get him to not to be stubborn, because that's what they did over here with your Mars energy. But or he's a strong person that talks about love. But so far I don't get that from him. But I could be wrong about that. But he might be real stubborn, so they put Venus in there to loosen him up with love, because that's what's happening over in your 12th house. That's what it looks like with me. And then 1, 2, 3, 4th house got the twins. So again, you know, you're dealing with like a twin flame, twin type thing, because you got the twins, and that's the family house. 5th house, they go to nurturing again. See, that's the love house. And guess what? Now if you notice, Lilith is retrograde. Because what Lilith retrograde means is she just didn't feel cherished. Like, she didn't feel cherished. So, like, with Lilith, she's not going to let you get away with it. And, like, when you talk about your next life and stuff, Lilith can really affect that. That's why you don't want to see no Lilith retrograde, because it'll affect your next life, where you're going and stuff. So there's nurturing in the 5th house, because that's supposed to be the house of love and romance. So he needs help with that nurturing. And then you see in your 6-9, you see the 6-9 and 12th house or whatever, and they trying to get him to, you know, be loving and be nurturing and stuff. Same thing you see in his 3rd house. See, what people don't realize about 3rd dimensional, they want you to be a badass, because you can be a badass. You can be the toughest individual in 3rd dimension, but you're not always going to be in 3rd dimension, and you fucking up where you want in your next life. Plus, you fucking your money up. See, I'm a smart Negro. I know this shit. I ain't fucking up none. My mind is on all this. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th house, you got Leo, which is your sun sign. And now that's his moon sign. See that's how you could tell there's definitely a connection with these two people, no matter how you look at it, because they kind of playing off each other a little bit. Because even her sun sign is in the first house, which is run by Aries, and then his sun sign is Aries. See, they're playing off each other. I don't have enough to say they twins, but I have enough to say that they definitely connected. And so the moon sign is Leo, and they go to healing with Virgo again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then when you get to the seventh house, Virgo is in the seventh house of relationship, and they go to vertex cross, because that's where other people are coming in. At 666 is 18 is perfect love, or your perfect love. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they're trying their best to heal things up. But like I said, it's sweet. But see, he don't have no retros though, not yet. So that's interesting. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But in the relationship, then he got a retro. He got Chiron retro, but that means past life healing. But also now you're starting to see that they twins. Cause look at her Libra. She got Chiron, and then his true north node is Libra, and her true north node is Libra. And now his past life, like see how her past life deal with Aries and shit, and his past life. Cause some people just like to argue and shit. That's what it kind of just looked like they just had aggression, like that Aries energy, gonna argue. Ain't nobody gonna tell me nothing. And then you got even the standoff in his 12th house, like Mars is pointed directly at Venus, like they just standing off, like they just got to be up in each other's face and shit. So that's a south. That was a north node. His south node got a lot of unbelievable Aries energy in it. So you could tell these two be getting in it or used to, whether this life or next life, but you could definitely see it. But what they gotta realize, your next life, in order to get your next life right, y'all gotta stop all that. Y'all gotta get all them retros. Then you gotta get that stuff. You gotta meet that karmic debt. So then that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then the ninth house is Scorpio again, but this is your higher self house. And good fortune is retrograde, which means not enough drive is there to really want it to happen. And then Palace is even retrograde, so they're trying to help you because they're trying to tell you that your past life with those auras is really messing things up for you to higher ascend. Because that's really what your ninth house is really your higher consciousness house, so your higher ascension. That's why I talk about travel, but they're really talking about you to the next location you go to. So they may say travel, like going foreign travel and all that, but at the end of the day, they're talking about your next location where you go to. Then it takes you to your 10th house, because I said Juno, I said something about Scorpio. Remember when I did your 10th house, I said Juno means you might end up with this Aries or something. And then you sure enough you can see because he's an Aries. And I also said something about Saturn, and Saturn is real close to that same house because we don't know his exact time. So it would be Aries and Saturn right there where his sun sign is. And then all the other stuff I said, so they definitely twins. So then you get your 10th house, which is your career house. But again, they go Sagittarius, the healer. But he's dealing with Scorpio, Pluto retrograde. But Pluto retrograde can mean soul matters, twin souls, past life matters. But Pluto retrograde can also mean something Pluto's gonna have to hit. Because sometimes when people ain't where they need to be, the universe is gonna use Pluto, and Pluto will hit. Because Pluto and Saturn teach you lessons, and you can study more about that online. But you can either get hit with a Plutonian lesson, or you can get hit with a Saturnian lesson. So you gotta understand that. So when you don't learn or whatever, that's like my father always told me: a hard head make a soft behind. If you don't learn, the universe will start making you go through all kind of lessons and stuff. So they showing you stuff like that in your 10th house. And then Sagittarius really represents the ninth house, the higher self. But Sagittarius is also the healer. What they're doing, like what they're kind of telling you, whatever they do to you is for your greater good. Whatever happens to you is your greater good, because you're not going to get to your higher self until you go through these lessons. Now look how they complement each other. See how her Saturn is retrograde, so she gonna go through some Saturn lessons, but his Saturn ain't retrograde. But then his Pluto is retrograde, but her Pluto ain't. They keep complementing each other. Her sun sign Leo, his moon sign Leo. So they keep complementing each other. So that I believe that's the 10th house, then the 11th house. Okay, there go Capricorn again, and there go Juno again. You see Jupiter again. You see the same thing. Jupiter, Neptune, and Uranus, basically in Capricorn. See, y'all can say what y'all want, but I'm saying we don't know the time. So all that stuff is probably in the same house or close enough. Cause yeah, even over here it's not. Uranus and Aquarius, and Neptune and Jupiter and Capricorn. Same over here. Neptune and Jupiter and Capricorn, Uranus and Aquarius. So like I said, Capricorn works for Saturn at the end of the day. Saturn is like the boss and Capricorn works for him. So Saturn is all about discipline, karma, or teaching you Saturn lessons. So when Capricorn showing up and maybe trying to teach them type of lessons. And then the 12th house with Aquarius could mean submission. And Aquarius again, Uranus is just independent energy, but Uranus is kind of real powerful. It could be kind of sudden as well. It could even be, believe it or not, it can even deal with telepathy. That's why you see it close to Neptune, because Uranus is in house number 5 in numerology. It's a sudden impact, but it can also deal with travel, such as telepathy. And so that's kind of what's going on in your chart. That y'all are communicating. Y'all are receiving communication from the universe, and you're receiving communication from your higher selves to tell y'all how to get it together. So finally, we're gonna go back over. We're gonna explain these R's again, these retrogrades. So we're back at the chart on the left. The first R I see, because I'm going counterclockwise, starting like at the 11th house, is Jupiter. That means to me that y'all got past life money that y'all can get, but y'all gotta still get on better terms as far as the areas they're telling you to work on. Uranus retrograde can mean two things. You're gonna have internal change, or it can also mean because of Saturn and Capricorn, it's gonna cause you to have internal change. And or Uranus can also mean that in that particular house you weren't as independent as you could be. You for some reason you became less independent. I'm looking at Uranus retrograde, and that's what Capricorn can do to you if it's working with Saturn. And Neptune retrograde just means that they're trying to teach you your past life through your dreams and your subconscious and stuff like that. And then again in your 9th house where Juno, I feel sorry for Juno because Juno just wants a relationship. See, when you see Juno and Saturn together, Juno is saying, I just want to be in a relationship. And Saturn's like her father. So Saturn's like he's got the shotgun and he's trying to get her married. He's trying to get her in a relationship. But Aries ain't having it. Like on her chart, Aries is like being real defiant. And this is the higher house. That's the higher house. So Saturn is just going to be whatever energy needs it, or whatever Saturn has to do, he's gonna send lessons because he's gotta make that Aries energy become more humble. It can't be I am, it has to be we are. And that's Aries. Aries motto is I am, but it has to be we are. So Saturn is gonna be sending Saturnian lessons on the person to humble them. And and Saturn can also mean lack of discipline. Saturn retrograde can mean less of that lack of discipline. But after reading both of these charts, it's obvious that there's a major Aries energy situation going on. So now those are all the retros on that left to the left, female on the left. Now we're gonna do the same thing. We'll start it around house 11, and we're gonna go around his chart. Which, like I said, one thing about him, he didn't really have a lot of he got a lot of energy, but he don't have a lot of karma on that side. So now coming around, now right where Libra is, see that relationship. And I'm sorry, ladies, but I see it too often. The dude be chilling. He be chilling till you get to that female sector, and all of a sudden them auras start popping up. Boy, Adam and Eve all over, bro. Because I be seeing it too much. I'm not saying every single time, but I do see it. Like, so in that relationship thing, now here come the aura, but that's past life healing. And then that's his true north node. So he's got to work on that too. So he got to realize, like, what he got to realize is y'all in it together. Y'all like this is a sacred union. So both of y'all got to be there for each other, and y'all got to really anything that's dividing y'all got to really get that in check. So then he got it there. Then he got a Scorpio, and in Scorpio he's got that Palace retrograde again. But Palace is trying to help you out with past life issues. And then see that's not good to have Vesta in the 9th house, because that's like no desire. Vesta is energy. Vesta is like dynamic energy, and it's almost like no desire to ascend, no desire to higher ascend, because that's the 9th house. And see, yeah, in your 9th house, Juno wants to be. She wants to ascend. She wants to do it. But Aries apparently doesn't. But remember, I keep telling you, Aries and Scorpio, they both are connected to Mars, because Mars used to rule Scorpio. So it's just aggression. At the end of the day, it's aggression. And Scorpio can be aggressive, but not necessarily. But it just depends. They could be real. But they're very powerful because they deal with Pluto. And to me, Pluto is one of the most powerful planets there is, if not the most. I think a lot of people say Jupiter is, I forget, or they may say Pluto, but that's a lot of energy. When you're dealing with Scorpio, you're dealing with a lot of energy. So somehow that energy is making him less willing to ascend to his higher self. So that's why you got Pallas trying to help him, and Vesta really can't do too much. And then that's why Pluto showed up, because Pluto gonna spank that ass. But if you notice, your higher self is represented by Sagittarius. Sagittarius rules the 9th house, but ain't nothing really happening in his 9th house. So Pluto is showing up to really discipline this dude, like hard. Like Pluto ain't playing. So you gotta understand this shit. What happens on Earth happens above. So when you messing around with Pluto, Pluto is the prison. Pluto is the 8th house. It rules Scorpio. It's a prison. When you go to Revelation chapter 9 and they go down to that bottomless pit and open it up with the key, if you know the Scorpio is there, that's the Scorpion King. But this is all in that world. But now in our world, we just call it prison. Like they call prison hell and all that, call it the abyss and all that, because they're talking about the thing. So that's why I said, no matter how bad, you could be a badass, bro, but the universe is going to have a plan for you. That's why I don't even fall for that. I've been here so long, like for real, I don't even mind saying that. I've been here so long, I'm talking decades of just watching shit, just studying shit and seeing the same stuff over and over again. Like when you get locked up, they got lifers. And like as soon as a dude walk in, a lifer can usually tell you what he did. You know what I'm saying? He ain't even say what he did yet. A lifer can just look at him and tell what he probably did. And them guys been locked up so long, they just know, like they real psychic. Like they know the whole freaking prison. They can hear a noise and tell you what's going on and shit. Like how he know that? Because he been there so long. It's the same shit. So when I look at this chart, that's what I see. When I see Pluto show up, like right there, I'm like, yo, if you can avoid it, avoid it. Because no matter how bad you are, it's always gonna be somebody better than you. And if you real bad, it's gonna be 5 or 10 niggas gonna be way better than you. Or not, they not better than you, but 5 or 10, you're not Bruce Lee, and it's not the movies. So that's what I see in that 10th house. Is be easy, you know. Because like if you really work with the universe is gonna bless you. But a lot of people don't even know these natal charts. They don't know this is your prophecy for life. And they walk into, like, it's like you walk into an ambush. It's no way you was gonna win. But maybe if you knew, maybe you would have had a better chance. And then some people be like, oh, F that, I don't care. I'm gonna do what I want to do until they really get there. Like you only tough like when that bullet, when somebody put that gun in your face and you really realize that shit, you see that, like, that shit clicking back and shit, you realize you in about half a second your ass is dead. Some dudes go out tough, like they be like fuck you, and they go out tough. But most niggas be like, damn, I should have rethought this shit. So that's what I see in your 10th house with Pluto. He coming to, if he ain't already did it, he coming to fuck that shit, or he coming to hit you hard. Cause it started over here. You understand the family, nigga. Like, no disrespect, but the family is Pluto, Mars, Scorpio, and Aries. Now you got Pluto up here, and then down here you got Saturn, Mars, Aries. So you almost got the whole, like, that's what we would call like the big mafia, like the big houses, the houses you know not to f with. Now you don't f with Scorpio, you don't f with Pluto, you don't f with Mars, and you don't f with Aries, and you definitely don't f with all of them together. But on your chart, they're all significant. So that's why I said. So that's why Pluto, he gonna have to hit hard. It's not. It's like getting in the ring with Tyson in his prime and shit. Me personally, I would tap the fuck out. I'd be like, yo, what they want? You know, I'm keeping it 100. Be tough another day. Be tough with a fair one. Get a fair one, but this ain't gonna be a fair one because Pluto don't play fair. Pluto destroy everything. I think when you read the book of Job, that had a lot to do with Pluto. That's why they talk about Leviathan the beast, because the beast comes out of the deep, comes out of that bottomless pit. So they destroyed Job. They took everything, killed everything, destroyed everything. The only reason why they left his wife alive was because she was saying curse God, and die. Otherwise they would have killed her too. But they wanted him to curse God. So that's why I said that when I looked at that Pluto retrograde, I'm just saying as a warning so that you don't go for it. Like, you understand what you're up against. This ain't got nothing to do with manhood. This ain't got nothing to do with, oh, I'm gonna prove I'm tougher. This got to do with they coming, like, that's like a hit put out and they not playing. This is what they're offering you. They're offering you the peace of what you're supposed to do, which is twin soul union. Or if you want that Aries energy, which is war, or Mars energy, which is war, then they're gonna show you what war really is, and that's what's up. And even you see the Sagittarius, the Sagittarius is a centaur. The centaur. Now, when Jesus was on the cross, that centurion stabbed him with that spear. That's what they talking about. The centaur, and they even tell you that Leviathan is a piercing serpent, because that piercing sword that pierced Jesus in the side was a representation of Leviathan the beast. That's the underworld. That's hell. And then even in Revelation they say, oh, he's coming and everybody's gonna see him, even the one that pierced him. But they're making a reference to Leviathan the beast, because that's really symbolically speaking who pierced Jesus on the cross. That pierce that he took on the side was a centaur or a spear, which is what Sagittarius is. It'll hurt you, but it'll heal you at the same time, and that's what they would do. That's what they're trying to do in your 10th house. All right, and then if you stay in 11th house, but you still got to deal with that Capricorn energy, and Capricorn energy has got to be appeased, because on the other chart, especially, well, you see Saturn. I just got Saturn rules Capricorn, but on the other chart you see Capricorn too. So it's the same thing. It's two different charts, but they're one. This is a twin soul. So they got to deal with that Capricorn energy. The Capricorn energy works with Saturn, and all it means you got to meet that karma. The more you meet the karma, it's like now you're obeying the rules. The more you obey the rules, you won't have a problem with Saturn, because Saturn just wants to see you obey the rules. And then you can meet that karmic debt. And then when that's met, not only do you get past life money, because you might even be getting, see, his Jupiter is not retrograde, but y'all, even if you got money now, you're gonna have past life money. And we already explained Neptune and Uranus. We already did that. Right now, I'm just talking about the retrograde. So that's the last retrograde. But no, like I said, it's like that. But when you're young, you think that shit is cool, and nobody really taught people about astrology. But you think, like I said, being a badass is cool, arguing all the time is cool, being all loud and shit. You think that shit is cool, but you're deciding your future. And that's why, like, when you got older relatives and they try to tell you, like, I don't know, like if you had a grandmother and she tried to tell you, or somebody older tried to tell you, but you ain't listening, you're like, oh, she don't know what time it is. Yeah, she do. Like, she do know what time it is. Like, you gotta think about the afterlife, bro. Cause it's like all that shit you be seeing in the movies and shit. That shit real. When they grab your ass and take you down to the deep, they know all that shit's in the Bible. Like, people in the deep. Just read Psalm 69, the first 4 verses. David was in the deep. He was like, get me out of here. Oh, I'm drowning. He was scared. And just read it. He was begging God to save him. And then in Psalms 23, he got in the valley of the shadow of the death. That was a deep, and the evil was all around him. And then 2 Corinthians chapter 12, they took Paul into what's called paradise. But paradise in the Bible is a darkness, because at the 6th hour on the cross, paradise came. And it was dark. Jesus said, today you'll be with me in paradise. And then it was all darkness. And that's Luke 23:43-46. Paul went into that same paradise at 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 1 and 12. And he was crying out. He was begging God to stop because he was getting attacked. He said, buffeted by a messenger of Satan. And then God said, no, my grace is sufficient. So that shit is real. And even Jesus, after he got baptized in Matthew chapter 3, the Holy Spirit took him to be tempted of the devil in Matthew chapter 4. So all that stuff is real. And you see it, like I said, you see it in your natal chart. So I'm just trying to show you why it's going to be hard because of that energy you got that I told you, Mars, Saturn, the sun, all in Aries. So you hard, then they're going to get harder. But they will win. You can't beat the universe. And there's some people that they be so arrogant. Like Snoop Dogg made movies like that. That he was so arrogant, he wouldn't bow down and he ended up walking around in hell and shit. Like that shit is real though. Like that shit, like Snoop know about Egyptology. If you look at Snoop Dogg and you take a picture of Ampu or Anubis from the underworld, it looks just like Snoop Dogg and shit. And a lot of his movies was about him in the underworld and shit. So they be telling you a lot of stuff in your movies and stuff. We just think it's just, oh, that's just a dude from Cali. No. He's a lot more metaphysical than you think. That's why he been around so long. Ain't no rapper been around as long as Snoop Dogg, but still making hit songs. This nigga been around forever because you dealing with some supernatural shit. Look at the Rolling Stones. All them dudes should be dead, dog. They still rock and rolling. How old are them dudes? Ain't some of them dudes like 70 or 80 years old? But all these people have sold their soul to the devil. You're talking about the eighth house. That shit's real. So hopefully you'll get the message to work on what they're telling you to. That's a relationship. Work on your karmic debts. Work on that union. And realize that we do have an afterlife to go to. It's not all about this world we in right now. This world, the real journey was to meet your twin and reunite. And that's why when I study the natal charts, that's all I see. I don't see all that other junk. People go, oh, this is gonna happen to you. Oh, did you know in your fifth house? Oh, yeah. I don't see that shit. I see them souls. Like, look at the symbols right now. It's almost two of everything. Cancer's two symbols. Gemini, two symbols. Aquarius, two symbols. Pisces, two symbols. And then Libra, two symbols. Basically, just one on top, one on the bottom, but it's still two symbols. And then Scorpio, Scorpio and Virgo, they almost look alike. To me, that's still they're separate, but it's still two symbols because they almost look alike. So I don't know. So that whole duality is on the natal chart. That's what I'm trying. And then when you look at Aries Rams, two horns. Taurus is horns, two horns. So almost every symbol is two if you really look at it. Maybe not every single one of them, but just about. So it's all about duality. And so when you come to this earth, that's really what it's about. Meeting your twin and having that sacred union and trusting in the universe and then finding out what assignment the universe has for you. And you can change that chart by your own actions because I'm going to try to tell you the truth. As powerful as they are, they're not more powerful than you. But what happens, most people don't realize that. Like somebody says, oh, a spirit told me to do this, so they do it. You ain't got to do it. You could have said no. You could have tough. Like, I be fighting all the time. I'm not just going to do something because somebody tell me to. I be fighting. But you become very powerful. And in the Bible, you see people that have planets doing what they tell them to. Joshua told the sun and moon to stand still. It did. And Joseph was talking to the suns and stars and moons and stuff. So is what you allow in. See, I'm more into stuff like that. That street stuff, I came up in the street. It's tough, but it's not really that tough. It's not really that tough. I mean, people you respect, but that's not really that tough. But when you do the shit I'm doing now, bro, that's the real shit. Because I'm doing stuff with planets and shit. Like, I'm like, when ODB said I put planets in orbit and shit like that. I'm on some other shit. So that's what I'm trying to encourage you to do. Don't try to duke it out with the universe, bro. Because like when you see Jupiter, when you see Saturn like right there, that's like a hit on you. Like for real, I ain't saying that to be evil. I'm saying you could just realize you ain't gonna win that one, bro. It'll be another day to knock somebody out or whatever, but don't fuck with the universe. But they're not playing. You got karmic debt. They want you two to unite, and they want y'all to get rid of the karmic debt. It gotta be. It can't be I am. This is what I'm gonna do. It's gotta be we. And when you do that, and Lilith, and especially Lilith cannot be retrograde. You can't have no Lilith retrograde. All you need is one Lilith retrograde, and that's gonna mess your next stop up. Wherever you going after this life, if Lilith ain't right, you want to repeat and do all that stuff, and it might be worse. So that's what you hear. That's your real reason for being here, bro. And it'll help you. One thing about the universe, once you get your mind right, they'll help you. Like Whatever needs, you gotta learn how to work with your angels and stuff like. Cause all that shit's real. I wouldn't be doing, bro. Like if this wasn't real, this is the best decision I ever did. Get my angel cards and do what I'm doing. And your friend, if you get to hear this video, she been with me like a long time as far as listening to the videos. Cause me and her go back like at least 6 or 7 months. So that's it. God bless y'all. Y'all be in my prayers all the time. Much love. Anybody else interested in anything you hear out here, you can hit me up on the description box below, and I have a list of everything that I do. And if there's any suggestions or whatever, just let me know, and I'll look into it. This is Yet. You've been listening to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. Seen or heard on YouTube. Now, if you wonder where I got Gad from, God gave me that name in 1992, summer of 1992. God gave me that name, Yet, G-A-T. He made me wait 10 years to find out what it meant. But in 10 years later, in 2002, I was in a call center, and I was taking, I was reading the Bible in between calls, and at Exodus chapter 24, verse 18, in the Authorized King James Bible Version, 1611 AD copy, it said about, Yet. And Moses went in the clouds and gat up to the mountain. When Moses got into that mountain, he saw God face to face. And the Bible says that Moses' face was so bright after seeing God that he had to put a veil on his face because the people couldn't look at Moses' face because it was bright like the sun. So that's that whole G-A-T. It means regeneration. And what regeneration means is when you leave this planet, if you go back to source, if you solar ascend, you regenerate and you'll be whatever God is. You'll be bright like Moses' face was. And that's why my sun sign is Leo. I'm a Leo. And even on your friend's chart, I'm talking about the female that requested that, I see something significant. But me and her was always cool. Like we were just cool like that because we like in the same soul group. But I see my numbers on the chart and stuff. So that's what's up. So we family, bro. I'm out.